and I've got Jude Heath of J.Heath and Company CPAs in studio with me. How you been?
Great. We had a good tax season.
Means you were busy.
Very busy.
Lots of people that needed to do tax returns through you.
Yes.
You were telling me you're seeing an impact on the industry. So I want to share with that because, we're looking at capacity and businesses. On some sides, some people say, my business isn't very busy, but we're actually seeing that everybody we're correlated to or know, regardless of the industry, are pretty busy and they need more employees. It is tough, and then we're in this world of the big resignation, and that's affecting everybody. And we've had some people leave just because they want to seek other opportunities is okay. And some of that is people kind of saying, I just want to do my own thing. I want to drive Uber or cut grass or clean windows or whatever it is out there. But one of the things they're doing is apps like Venmo and others enable them to get paid easily. And it might also, it enables them to do it in a way they're probably not keeping proper books. Yeah, tax day passed, but there's this thing called an extension, which you can put it off and do it later. So do you still pick up clients calling, hey, I've got to get this thing done?
Absolutely. And the closer we get to the end of the year, we've got new laws coming into effect at the end of this year. A biggie is going to be the 1099K from the online platforms like Venmo. We're expecting a big influx of people that are going to require help with filing because they're going to get this 1099 from the online platforms, and they just don't know what to do with it.
Wow. So that wasn't done last year.
That's right.
Okay, everybody can kind of wipe their forehead. I get the sweat off of that. So you're okay exchanging money through Venmo and other similar platforms. So let's talk about that because I'm sure a lot of that's done. It's just like, pay me through that. So at the end of this year, Venmo's kicking out 1099Ks.
That's right.
To everybody. Now, what does that look like? Does that have to be on certain size transactions? Tell us, because that's been a neat thing, and that's part of this gig economy where people can do business and they don't have to run it through a bank account. I've got a lawn guy, and that's how he wanted to get paid. We've had other people do things for us, even hire a trainer for a period of time, and she said, I like payment through Venmo. So there's a lot of people that are getting compensated that way. So then explain what that looks like from your view, the 1099K.
So a 1099K is the exact same form that is used by credit card companies to 1099 enterprises for their revenue that they ran through the credit card machine. So it's a revenue 1099. It begins a tax form. And what we've found over the years is that some people that use some of these online platforms to get paid, they don't reconcile all that, and maybe some is left off of their filing. I think the IRS recognized that as well. And so now with this 1099...
some revenue never shows up on the return?
Correct. So
I didn't mean to do that.
So now what's going to happen is 2 years later, if you don't pick up your 1099, the IRS is going to match that and send them a notice, hey, you didn't pick up this 1099. If that notice goes unanswered, that 1099 is going to be applied to the tax rate, and the taxpayer is going to get a tax bill on their revenue. So we're encouraging our clients, and not just our clients, because we think this is going to affect the taxpayer population, some people that have been using some of the online platforms to file their taxes themselves, is reach out to the people that are using these online platforms and just remind them that there's sort of a reckoning at the end of this year.
So people are getting paid through that at the end of this year. Venmo and other vendors like that are going to kick out a 1099K to the IRS, which means they're going to tell the IRS you've been making money through this. We don't know the exact details, whether it's if you make more than compensation from this one person that's paying to your account, they note that over time, or is it all transactions going into your Venmo? You know, I don't know how they separate that out. But what's going to happen, and I know this is coming 2 years out, the IRS is getting a copy of it automatically, and you're not accounting for it on your tax return. So there's this thing the IRS does is when the paperwork doesn't match up, they're basically going to say, you didn't tell us about this, so we're adding this to your bill. And by the way, there's penalties and late fees for not telling us and paying it 2 years ago, and that's your notice. And you've got to respond to it in a certain period of time. And they'll get a little meaner with each letter. So that's kind of how that works. So I know somebody that kind of does this where somebody sends money, and some of them they can share who's seeing, and they'll say, well, yeah, it's for dance lessons, it's for pizza, you know, it's for beer drinking and just whatever. But this is kind of more serious now. So what should somebody be doing in light of what you know's coming?
So what I find with people that use the online platforms, they'll get paid by somebody. Let's just take the dance instructor that you talked about. That's a viable enterprise. She gets paid or he gets paid for dance lessons. She gets paid $300 for a series of dance lessons. She takes $200 out because she needs to pay her light bill that month. So the money they're taking out of those online platforms mostly is personal money. So then when they come in with their tax records, and I say, well, before we do your taxes, check your Venmo and just see if they've posted a 1099 on your account. Oh my goodness, they've posted a 1099 for $8,000. Okay, that's your revenue. Let's see what business expenses we can use to offset that. Business expenses, I don't have any. Can I use my mileage or my dancing shoes, or what can I use? And so we have to go through a list then, and these are the viable expenses. It clearly will not be enough to offset revenue, and so she's going to have a tax bill taxed twice, FICA rate 15.3%, and also at the individual income tax rate, the combined progressive rate. It's going to be a big rate, and she's going to probably owe that year. And so it's going to change the conversation a lot of the gig economy.
Gosh, this is going to be done for this year, and you're doing business on Venmo. IRS wants to know about your gain. Why? You owe some taxes there. If you're getting money, and here, I just opened my Venmo. It says, if you sell $600 or more in a calendar year, we'll share this info with the IRS and issue you a Form 1099K. So it has my name, and then it's blank where it says Social Security number. Below it, it says the IRS requires us to ask for your full Social Security or tax ID number. We'll keep it private. Well, I would hope so, keep it private, except they're not going to keep it private from the IRS. And then it's got a thing you can click on, what's Form 1099K? And I asked Jude, I said, well, what if I don't fill that in, the Social Security number? He said, they're probably going to block me out of the account there because they're required probably to have that. And if somebody's new downloading the app, I would guess that's part of signing up for that app is you got to put your tax ID out there. But say you're a sole proprietor, meaning you're not an entity that's incorporated. There's an option to have a business Venmo account. But if you got these things going on where somebody's paying you for the back for the pizza and for the beer last night out with the friends, or you bought fuel for their jet ski and they're paying you back, all these different reasons. See, this, I'm going over the personal stuff. But if you're doing that, and also, you know, I pressure washed this guy's house down the street and he gave me $700. So if we were mixing that, you've got to separate that out because that's just like in your bank account there. Where's the profit? The IRS is looking for it, and that's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out, but you should start some bookkeeping on these gig jobs there, like Uber and Lyft and other. Those are probably issuing 1099s as well, which that pretty much means that's all for business. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. We think that it's going to expand number of small businesses in the country. We think it's going to really increase the number of folks that cannot file their own taxes, at least for a few years. And maybe down the road they'll get a handle on it, but it's going to take our industry some effort to help these folks become compliant.